All right, everyone. James O'Keefe and Project Veritas have said they've exposed something here involving YouTube and the New York Times. And it's not, I would call this a double doozy, except a lot of people will say, oh, that James O'Keefe dude, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, he had a problem years ago with Planned Parenthood, so we're just going to ignore what he says, so they'll remain ignorant. The other reason is because it's like a no-brainer that the legacy media fucks around with YouTube's algorithms. Who's surprised at this, honestly? Are you surprised that some employee at the New York Times was given the right to tinker around with what did or did not go on the front page of YouTube? Plenty of people probably have that happy capability. They all work together in a happy little group to screw the same independent content creators that built this site in the first place. That's one of the biggest problems. By the way, to the people at VidMe, so that you know not to go down the same road of, screwing your own site in the ass, I'm putting this in tech. I don't care if it deals with the New York Times. It's talking about their web-based presence. I'm putting it in tech. Go ahead and change the category. See what happens if you do. You won't like the result. So here you go. Veritas comes out and says, the New York Times, this specific employee, has this ability and is bragging about it. The New York Times almost immediately responds, oh, this is a breach of our ethical violations and reprimand and fire, and we would never screw around with what was on, one of the most popular websites in the world. We would never, ever tinker around with the front page to push our own material or material we agree with, or material that will lead people to our material through related videos. We would never do that. Just ignore the fact that right now everyone's getting their videos demonetized, put in restricted mode, put in limited state, so that basically all of the YouTubers that built YouTube are completely incapable of doing anything. Like, nobody knows they even exist anymore. They're like a bad secret. YouTube's purging 90% of them, favoring maybe 10%. Ultimately, at the top of the tier, it's favoring the New York Times. I wonder why. Fox News, CNN. By the way, look at, to those who feel that it's partisan, why don't you take a look at the companies that are on YouTube's streaming bundle? That's funny. Fox News, I thought they were far right. No, it's because they have a lot of money. Well, no shit, of course they're on the streaming bundle. Yeah, of course they are. New York Times isn't the only group that gets to fiddle around with what's on YouTube and what's not. Oh, trust me, it goes further. You remember when Mark Dice made that one video there that was talking about CNN? And the very small number of clips he used were obvious fair use. And they took his channel down temporarily because of that. You remember Jordan Peterson, when all of a sudden all of his content magically disappeared, including his own Gmail account and everything, and everyone had to pile aboard to get him back online? You wonder why all these things are happening in such short order? It goes way beyond the New York Times. It's not just, oh, the New York Times can play with the trending tab. Oh, that's wonderful. That's a wonderful privilege. I wish I could go in there for 10 minutes and fiddle around and have some fun. Because I'd put like totally random unrelated videos that like self-refute one another on the front page just to piss people off. Like, so the first one would be total like pro-feminism, and the next one would be like a MGTOW video, and just everyone would be fighting everyone else. It would turn into a shitstorm. It'd be wonderful. By the way, YouTube might try doing this accidentally at some point if it wants really, really great attention. I'd be trending on Twitter for days. I'm not surprised though. So I'm sorry, I'm going to call this a floozy. It would get double doozy status, except that a lot of people want to be ignorant that this sort of thing is happening. They're not really cued into alt tech. They're not intelligent enough to understand what we're trying to accomplish here. So that would put it down to a doozy, like still pretty good, but not huge. But then I'm not surprised. I'm just not surprised to hear this said, so I can't even express shock. I have to put it down to floozy status on this Veritas release. We'll see. I think later today they're doing another New York Times release, so we'll see what comes out with that one and see if that can bump it up a little bit more. That's about all. Peace out.